What's going on, fellow nerds? Welcome to the Midwest Marvel Podcast. I'm your host, Nick Adams, and with me is Zeke Farnsworth, who unfortunately I don't have a witty introduction for today.
It's all right. We missed last week. That's my bad. And the week before we had some unfortunate
We
things happen. And
really unfortunate.
we're still on the grind, people. Don't worry.
We
We're
are.
still we're
It's been
still
like
going
5 weeks
for
now. Listen, what you guys don't realize is, 2 weeks ago we actually had an entire podcast episode pretty much filmed and ready to go. And as we were closing it up, my computer ran out of space and just like corrupted the file, and we weren't able to recover it at all, and we didn't have time to record it. And so somewhere out in the stratosphere there is a pretty solid podcast episode. Like that was a good
Yeah.
episode that we had worked up, and we'll never be able to get that back. That episode's gone forever, and it's a
Yep.
bummer.
So those of you who emailed us, we read them. I promise we did.
Yeah. So we had quite a few people email, and we're actually going to talk about some of those today, and we'll save some for later. But yeah, we tried to shout you out a couple weeks ago, and obviously it wasn't meant to be, but it is today. So in today's episode, we're going to do two things. First of all, we're going to talk about Jonathan Majors. Jonathan Majors got arrested on alleged assault, harassment, and strangulation. Massive allegations that he's dealing with, and obviously a lot of different ramifications and things going on. So we're going to break that down, talk about that. That's serious stuff. That's wild stuff. Not anything that I thought we'd be talking about on the podcast today. On the lighter side of things, on the back half of the podcast, since it is March Madness, we're going to do a bracket of our own. We have created a Strongest Avenger bracket, and it's full of characters from the MCU as we know them in the MCU, and we are going to talk through this bracket and pick who we feel like the strongest Avenger in the MCU is, who would win in a head-to-head fight. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that. So let's get right into it. Let's start with emails, because like I said, we had quite a few emails, and we highlighted them a couple weeks ago. We're going to highlight them again now, and continue to send us your guys' emails. We appreciate them. We love the banter. We love the thoughts, and we'll always include them. We'll always highlight them. So if you send us an email and it's not read today, don't worry. It's coming. We had a decent amount, and we appreciate that. So we want to be sure to spread them out and give them their due time. So first email comes from Katrina Boyd, who follows the Midwest Marvel Guy account on Instagram and also listens to the podcast on Spotify. Katrina, appreciate your support. You are awesome. Thank you so much for emailing us and also just interacting on IG. But her email said, thoughts on the Midwest Marvel Guy podcast on Spotify. Let's talk about Eddie Murphy as Falcon and Tom Cruise as Iron Man. Being completely honest with you, I do not think I would be able to take Eddie Murphy serious as a superhero, and Robert Downey Jr. does so good as Iron Man, I can't imagine Tom Cruise being any better. For context, this comes off the heels of an episode we did about a month and a half or 2 months ago, where we were talking about alternate castings for some characters. And honestly, I don't remember the full conversation, but I know that's the general context. So
It was the context I brought up. I saw a post on Instagram or TikTok, I think. About
that's right.
If the MCU was cast in like the 80s or
Yeah,
90s or something
you're
like
right.
that, and it had
Yep.
Eddie Murphy as Falcon and Tom Cruise as Iron
As Iron Man,
Man,
which we
and
almost got in Multiverse of
Yeah.
Madness, and we didn't. We still may at some point. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we got it in Secret Wars.
yeah, like a superior Iron Man sort
Yeah.
of thing or something like that.
No. You bring up a great point, Katrina, and I think Zeke, I think you said this when in the Phantom episode that is now floating in the clouds somewhere. But
Floating in the multiverse somewhere.
yeah, Eddie Murphy right now as Falcon, absolutely right. Makes no sense at all. Eddie Murphy in the 90s or 80s makes perfect sense, just because superhero movies were not what they are today. They were campy, they were goofy. You think of like the Batman movies and some of the, like, even like when you watch the first Spider-Man movie, that movie is very campy compared to what we get with some of the Spider-Man movies and other superhero movies now. And most superhero movies had that type of tone. So I feel like, yeah, right now I can't see Eddie Murphy as Falcon. Then
Yeah.
I could have seen it working. He was in some action movies.
Yeah, I
Beverly
would've-
Hills Cop.
Yeah, I think I'd rather have seen like Wesley Snipes, even though he was already doing
He's in
Blade
Blade.
then.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Wesley would have been a phenomenal Falcon. That definitely would have worked. I think Eddie Murphy though, like he's still because he has the comedy aspect.
yeah,
So in that sense, like it still would have given us like the comic relief from the superhero, which I think could have worked for
or
him.
maybe a little dark horse pick here, but maybe Will Smith.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Will Smith could do just about anything. And listen, we know he has the fighting skill. That boy can slap with the best of them. Sorry, that's out of pocket. Too
Hey, the
soon.
opportunity was there.
It
It was a
was there,
slow,
man, dude.
slow pitch down the middle.
I
You
could not pass that one up.
had to swing.
Could not pass that one up. Yeah, no, that's a great thought. The Tom Cruise thing. Listen, yeah, I agree. Robert Downey Jr. is one of the best castings of all time. And sad thing, maybe we'll do this in a podcast episode again someday. But we had done our Mount Rushmore of comic book castings, and we talked about our top 4 comic book castings of all time. Robert Downey Jr. was on both of our Mount Rushmores. So yeah, Tom Cruise ain't gonna live up to that. But honestly, even today, Tom Cruise is maybe the best action star of all time. That man could pull it off.
I 100% agree. Puppy's named after him.
Right. Yeah, dude, that's such a good dog name. W dog on your guys' part there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. I mean, listen, like Tom Cruise can play the arrogant character too. Again, I still prefer Robert Downey Jr., but that man could have done it.
I think he could have done it. Not with the same as Robert Downey
Yeah.
Jr., but the other one I saw was Brad Pitt as Captain America back then. I'm like,
yeah, I just don't
think that
see
one
that
would have
one
worked as much. Yeah.
No, I just don't see that. Even back then, I'm like trying to think. I'm like, listen, I know Brad Pitt was the man, but I don't know.
I agree.
Chris Evans, spoiler, because I don't think we got that far. Chris Evans was also on my
honorable mentions.
No, he was on the actual Mount Rushmore.
Rushmore.
Yeah, I can't imagine
Was that
anybody
one
else
in our
as Captain
Phantom
America.
episode?
I never got that far with him. I think our episode got cut off prior to that, and so I never got to say that he was on mine. I think I got 3 people through, and he was number 4.
Oh yeah, okay.
So, yeah, bummer. But
That is
but yeah, we'll get back to it. If we do that episode again, just act like you didn't hear anything we just talked about. Our second email comes from our boy Javon Torres, who has emailed us before. So Javon, appreciate you reaching back out again. We always welcome your emails, man. He says, back at it again with another email to the most slept on podcast. My man, you already know.
appreciate it.
I know there's mixed reviews with this one, but I think that this was the best start. So he's talking about Phase 5. I think that Phase 5 was the best start to any phase so far besides Phase 3. Do you guys feel like the movie didn't live up to the trailer hype, and was the MODOK morale switch necessary? I, for one, loved everything about Kang. Which Kang from the Council of Kangs do you think will be the most BA? That's a loaded email.
It is a loaded email. I'll tackle the MODOK part.
Go for it.
We all know my feelings about MODOK.
Go for it.
I think they missed an opportunity there. I would have liked to seen MODOK be the big bad in that movie the whole way up until the very end, and then have Kang come in
Kind of get
and
Kang in, yeah.
get Kang in. I mean, the way Kang is done in this movie is not bad by any means. It's fantastic. It shows how his potential for evil is so high. But the thing with MODOK, I just kind of feel that the movie you brought him into, perfect. Bring him into Ant-Man with Paul Rudd.
Right.
You guys could have made that super funny, but MODOK is he's a menace in the comics.
Yeah,
and he does damage.
I do agree on the fact that I think he should have been more of a menace than what he was. I don't think we got to see that he was that powerful. And I know and again, it was my big problem with the movie in general. We got a lot of show, or a lot of tell, but not show. Even with Kang, like we heard about Kang conquering and all this stuff, but we were told about that. We didn't get to see that. And I feel like for whatever reason that there's been a lot of that in Phase 4 and obviously now the start of Phase 5. And I want to see it. Don't tell me about it. That doesn't do anything for me emotionally. I want to actually be shown that this villain is an absolute problem. And yeah, I feel like we should have been shown that MODOK was a problem. And that would have made it much better. I actually didn't mind how they did his personality. I thought that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
fine. I
That
thought,
was fine.
yeah, he's a goofy character anyway, so I was fine with that. I didn't love his ending. I don't know how I feel about the morale switch at the end there, but I mean, again, it is what it is. But yeah, I more so than the morale switch, I would have just liked for him to have been a menace more throughout the movie, and I would have been fine with the morale switch. But yeah, as far as the movie living up to the trailer hype, definitely not. I mean, the trailer made it look like one of the
Was
greatest MCU movies of all
phenomenal.
time,
Yeah,
and the movie just wasn't there. It was still good. I enjoyed it, but yeah, it wasn't anywhere close to the trailer.
definitely.
As far as like, listen, this is what we need to talk about. As far as the best start to any phase besides phase 3, brother,
You
do you forget that phase 1 exists? Like, Iron Man 1 started phase 1, dude. Javon, I love you, bro, but did you hit your head? I don't look. No, listen, I respect all opinions. If you got Quantumania above Iron Man 1, we'll agree to disagree. I still love you. We still want your emails, man. But phase 1, bro. Like okay, just so we're aware, the start to every phase. Quantumania starts phase 5, right? Phase 4 was started by Black Widow. Phase 3 started by Civil War, and that's what he says is the best start, which, I mean, hard to argue with Civil War. It's an absolute banger.
Hard to argue that one.
Right. Iron Man 2 or Iron Man 3 is start to phase 2, and then Iron Man 1 is the start to phase 1. Personally, my personal ranking of these, I think Quantumania is probably 4 out of 5 as far as like the best. I don't know where you rank it, but for me, I'm like Iron Man 1 is number 1.
Honestly, I'd put Black Widow over Quantumania.
Really?
Right now.
I think you switched up since the last time. I think in the Phantom episode.
I did. I just recently watched Black Widow, so
oh, you did?
that's
Okay.
why. And I was like, you know what? If that movie was in the correct phase, it's not a bad movie by any means. But because it was like a kickoff to phase 4, it's like, you know, people were like, oh, like this is already.
It was already after the fact. Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah. So, yeah, I think I go Iron Man 1, Civil War. Iron Man 3 was just slept on, but, I mean, it's just not better than Civil War. And then I go Quantumania and Black Widow. But I'm like you. I hadn't watched Black Widow again since I first saw it. So maybe if I watch it again, I'll switch that up. Who knows?
Yeah. They still, I will stand by, they did Taskmaster super dirty.
Oh, so bad.
That character needs to be revived in some way and made 30 times better at least. But my ranking is very close to yours. I just switched Civil War and Iron Man. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fair.
Even though I
respect that.
That's a hard switch for me, but my only reason
I get it. Dude, Civil War is an absolute banger. I know a lot of people have that in their top 5.
Brought Spider-Man in the MCU.
Brought Black Panther in the MCU.
Black Panther too. Yep. You know, seeing both of them.
Great. Like super emotional storyline.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, I completely agree. So, yeah, Javon, appreciate your email. But, yo, let us know. Did you forget about Iron Man or where you got Iron Man 1 ranked? Because we got to know. I just want to know. I don't hate you if you got it ranked lower. It is what it is. You like what you like, but I just want to know. Another thing we've been doing, we started this a couple podcast episodes ago. We're doing a listener Hall of Fame each week as well. So we know we got a lot of people who faithfully listen to the podcast on a week-to-week basis or close to that. And we just want to shout you guys out and let you know how much we appreciate you. So this week we got, I highlighted one last time. So Zeke is highlighting somebody this week. So Zeke, why don't you give your shout out for the listener Hall of Fame?
Hey, Kyle, my guy, my work buddy. Dude, he walked into work the other day. He was like, dude, I was cleaning my apartment and I just listened to pretty much every single one of our episodes. And he was like,
yo, shout out to Kyle,
my dude. I'm trying to get him to send us an email. He's like, I don't know, because I agree with you guys on so many things. I'm like, no, it's like, go ahead. You know,
bro.
Send a controversial topic.
Yeah, give us your hot take, Kyle.
Yeah.
I need to get a soundboard. That way, every time that we highlight the listener in the Listener Hall of Fame, I get like a or like something like that every time. Just like I just need a soundboard full of funny sounds. That way, I can just go nuts. So that like you watch Parks and Rec, right?
Oh yeah.
Parks.
Good show.
Crazy Ira and the Douche. Every time that they're on that show, and they always have like the soundboard, like with all just like effects. There's like a sound every other second. Like that's what I'm gonna make it. Okay, Yo, yeah, shout out to you, Kyle. Appreciate you listening, man. I don't know you, but you sound like a cool dude. So
He's a cool dude.
shout out to you,
Pretty
man.
sweet dude.
All right. Let's keep moving. So shifting tone a little bit. So yesterday I am watching some state basketball games. We traveled down to Indianapolis to watch 4 state basketball games, and we're in the evening session, and I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I see a notification pop up on my phone, and I see it has Jonathan Majors. Nothing new because he's been in the news a lot. He's all over the place. And I look, and I saw the word allegations, and I'm like, oh no.
Shoot.
And I had like no service in there because the place was sold out, filled with people. And I look down and I see Jonathan Majors arrested for alleged assault, strangulation, and harassment. And I'm just like, no way. And someone who was with me had service somehow, and he was able to hop in. And like, this is wild. This whole thing is just insane. So I'm going to give you guys a timeline here, and then we'll talk about it a little bit and just kind of give thoughts over all this. There's a lot to process and take in, but for those of you that just aren't super up to date on the timeline or not privy to maybe all the details that have come out so far, this is kind of laying out what's happened thus far. So Saturday morning, Jonathan Majors was arrested for alleged charges of strangulation, assault, and harassment of a woman in New York City who people believe is his girlfriend. And that's kind of the assumption by, I think, everybody, even like the police. Mm-hmm. So Majors and his representatives, like right away, came out not long after that initial news came out, and they were like, he's innocent. And they said, like, quote, he's done nothing wrong. We look forward to clearing his name and clearing this up. Situationally, it sounds like Majors and his girlfriend were in a taxi on Friday night. She confronted him about seemingly texting another woman, some stuff like that. You know, there was an argument, and apparently things got heated pretty quick. And then the stuff that is allegedly happened supposedly took place. Pause. Travel back in time here for a second. So back in February, filmmaker A.B. Allen. I don't really know who this guy is. I looked his IMDb up. He's done a bunch of small projects. Not to say he's a nobody or anything, but I mean, he's just not like a massive name filmmaker. I don't even know what work he's done with Jonathan Majors. I tried to look up the different projects that he's directed and produced to see if Majors was in any of them. He's not on the IMDb cast list. That's not to say that he hasn't worked with them. Obviously, he can do a lot of different stuff, but that's neither here nor there. But this guy tweeted back in February, okay? And he said this. He said, there's a particular actor relatively new on the scene who Twitter has violently fallen head over heels for, who in actuality is a vicious, cruel, abusive human being, both professionally and in his personal life. And every new viral thirst tweet about him drives me insane. Super cryptic tweet back in February. No one knew who this was about, and he would not say. On Saturday, yesterday, after Majors was arrested, somebody on Twitter found that tweet, quoted it, and was like, now we know who this tweet was about. Allen responded like right away to the tweet saying, ding, 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 ding. Like basically like, hey, you're the winner. You guessed it correctly. And then went on and had some other correspondence that confirmed, like, yeah, this is who I was talking about. On top of that, there's a Broadway actor and director, Tim Nicolai. He tweeted last night, and he said that he considered Majors a sociopath and abuser. And his full quote was that he said, I'm just going to say this about Jonathan Majors and be done with it. Folks at Yale and the broader NYC community have known about him for years. Excuse me. He's a sociopath and abuser, and that is how virtually everyone speaks about him. It's a shame that it took this long for him to be reported. And then he followed up in another tweet and said, I'm already seeing a bunch of people ask, why didn't you do anything? Folks, people have tried. Ultimately, we needed a victim to come forward. It's both simultaneously awful to know he's still doing this and also relief that he may never get to again. That's a lot. So
that's some heavy accusations.
Another wrench into everything, though, right? Because that is heavy accusations, and it's like, oh my gosh, like this dude is damned. Like he's done. Today, Jonathan Majors' lawyer, his defense attorney, has come out with the following statements. Jonathan Majors is completely innocent and provably the victim of an altercation with the woman he knows. We are quickly gathering and presenting evidence to the district attorney with the expectation that all charges will be dropped imminently. This evidence includes video footage from the vehicle where the episode took place, witness testimony from the driver and others who both saw and heard the episode, and, most importantly, 2 written statements from the woman recanting these allegations. All the evidence proves that Mr. Majors is entirely innocent and did not assault her whatsoever. So, dude, this is wild.
Yeah, it was. I was in a similar situation. I mean, I forget where I was sitting. I got the notification on my phone with the allegations. I was like, what in the world? And then reading further, finding all those tweets on stuff. It's like, how do you even know anymore? Because like these people could just be trying to get in on the action, or they could be telling the truth.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like the allegations are one thing, and first of all, let's just say this, right? Everybody's innocent until proven guilty. That's the way it is. That being said, you still have to take the allegations seriously, and obviously, thoughts and prayers are with the victim, especially if this proves to be true. I mean, just wild that here in 2023 we still have people that think it's okay to put their hands on a woman, like in that way. It's just insane, and there's literally zero tolerance for anything domestic abuse related whatsoever. And if this is true, his career's done.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. DC's got the same thing with Ezra Miller. Like, this dude's doing the Flash, and he's never going to act again, or at least not for a really long time. And rightfully so. It would be the exact same thing with Majors. But we also do have to take into consideration, and I try to, I want to be as well-spoken and sensitive about this as possible. But, again, it is 2023, and it is not out of the realm of possibility that allegations can be false. It does happen, sadly, and there is clout chasing. I'm not saying that's what's happening here at all. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, like,
yep, we're just explaining both
right.
sides.
It would not surprise me if it turned out that this wasn't actually all it looked to be. Not jumping to any conclusions, and online, I'm already seeing people like jump completely to one side or the other and act as though like they know he's innocent or they know he's guilty. And I'm like, listen, we don't know anything. Like, you just have to sit and we have to wait. And yeah, we could talk hypotheticals, but we have to keep in mind we don't know anything. Like, I'm not close to the situation. I have no idea what's happening.
Right. And and we really can't believe anything until we see like actual reports come out from the case, and then we can make a decision based on that.
Right. Yeah. So, but man, this just brings up, like, this is so crazy. It's crazy, one, because I would argue that he is the greatest actor in Hollywood right now. Especially from a popularity standpoint, and even from a talent standpoint. I don't know if there are too many people in Hollywood right now that have the acting chops greater than him. Like, this dude, this dude's got it. He is literally like, he's just blown up. Rightfully so from a talent perspective, right? He just got it. Every movie that he's in and every project that he's in, the dude acts circles around everybody. Michael B. Jordan is a phenomenal actor. I went and saw Creed 3, and Michael B. Jordan was great. But Jonathan Majors upstaged the crap out of him in that movie because he's just that much better than everybody. This dude has had such a quick and massive rise to fame, and I think this is a great reminder that we need to be careful not to put these actors, these celebrities, on a pedestal, because at the end of the day, we don't know them, and they are human beings who are imperfect, and we don't see what happens behind the scenes with any of these people unless you know them personally. And
you made a good point earlier while we were talking before it started. They're paid actors,
Yeah.
So if they want the public to see them in a certain way, the public's going to see them in a certain way, especially if you're as good as him.
Right. Yeah. Like, they act for a living. They are literally paid to lead people astray and make them think that they're someone else. And we often forget that they could do that in their real life. The question is, if he's proven innocent, what's the damage that's still done because of the things that have been said by these directors and anybody else that's come out? Because, again, that could be fabricated. It's very specific though, and like multiple people coming out and saying this now. And who knows? In the coming days, by the time we release this podcast tomorrow morning, more people could come out and say stuff. If the allegations are true, Disney drops him, right? Like that. Like that's
Oh
just
yeah.
that's a foregone conclusion. He's not acting. Period. No one's picking him up. And I think everybody would agree that's the course of action. If the allegations aren't true and he's proven innocent, it could be reputation ruining. I mean, allegations are still allegations, and people still remember those, regardless of whether you're proven innocent or proven guilty.
Yeah, it's one of those tough situations because like these tweets could be one of those things where people are trying to hop on a hype train as well. You know, someone could have found that tweet from Mr. Allen and been like, "Was Jonathan Majors you're talking about?" And then I mean, my opinion on it is like, even though like no one like the one tweet said like, "No, we didn't say anything because we needed victims to come forth." It's like, I don't know, because there's been several tweets that have been like, "No, this is how he is." Like, I just feel like some people like would have been like reaching out to some like Disney execs and been like, "Hey,
Yeah, dude, I
it's a
honestly don't
tough
even know what
situation."
dude. It's so wild. I mean, hypothetically, this is not the most important thing, but I just have to wonder if it came down to it and Kang had to get recast. I've been thinking a lot about this. I don't know if you've had any thoughts in your mind about who, but like if
I
you had to
have.
pick one
I'm not
person to
gonna
get
lie.
recast, dude, like so, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's not the forefront of the conversation, nor should it be. But if it came down to it, and I had to pick one person, I truly think that John Boyega would be a phenomenal Kang the Conqueror, because that dude, like young actor, roughly around the same age, insane chops. Like that dude can do everything. I've seen him in multiple roles where he just has wild range. Same type of build. He could be a bigger, like bulkier dude. He could play a serious role. He could play a villain role. I feel like John Boyega could kill it.
Yeah, I agree. That's a pretty good one. My pick was Eddie Murphy. I'm just, I'm just kidding. John Boyega was one
That's
I
great.
had thought of. But the other one, he was in the that cowboy movie that Jonathan Majors was also in, and I am drawing a blank on his name. But
Do you remember what the name
he's
of the movie is?
The Harder They Fall. I'm gonna
Let's see. The
Google it
Harder They
really
Fall.
quick.
I mean, I'll be honest. I don't know many of these
Lakeith
guys.
Stanfield.
Oh, bro. Oh, dude. I thought of Lakeith Stanfield too. He is an insane actor. He would, yeah. I feel like
I
he could
think,
do well too.
yeah, because he's
He's
like
so good.
he's a quieter dude. He
He
seems
is,
like he's a
but
quieter dude, softer spoken. But like having that as Kang would kind of
dude,
would be intimidating.
I love to watch him in anything. I would 100% before he's got the acting ability without a doubt.
Yeah.
He's insane. Okay, so let's hop into the bracket. I'm excited about this. We're switching tones, switching pace here. So we have
Me
our
too.
strongest Avenger bracket. Okay, so now you guys should be able to see the screens. So we have the bracket on the one screen if you're watching on YouTube, and then you can obviously see us below. So this bracket, we're going to decide collectively. So we have to agree on who advances in each one. So there may be some debate here depending on if we feel differently about each character. But this is all based on strength of these characters as we know them in the MCU. So we're not taking into account what they're like in the comics, because as we know, comic characters can differ from their on-screen counterparts. We're not doing
AKA
comics.
Hulk.
Right, literally. So yeah, so we're not taking the comics into consideration, largely because the general public will know the MCU more than they know the comics, and you guys can vibe with this more and have your own opinions. Whereas not as many people are well versed in the comics, it's a little more difficult to debate that, and people aren't as interested.
And hopefully this bracket is not as busted as my real March Madness bracket.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. If this is anything like my real March bracket, it's going to be a hot mess. So, so that being said, we have kind of like 4 different bracket sections for this. So this first one is called the science bracket. Also, we didn't actually make this bracket. We found this one, but it seemed pretty good. So this is the science bracket, which I think is pretty accurate for the most part. Captain America, I don't know about that. I think it's just because he was created by science, maybe.
Yeah, the super soldier serum.
Yeah. I'm not sure why he's actually in the science bracket himself, but so our first matchup is Captain America versus Pepper Potts. I mean,
Was it easy? This is a 16 versus 1 seed.
Right. It's Pepper Potts.
Yeah. Got the first
Yeah,
upset here.
bro,
Moving
Pepper
on.
is Pepper's gonna be lucky if she lasts more than like 15 seconds. To be honest,
Yeah.
so sorry, Pepper. It's just not. Yeah, that's easily that's not even a 1 versus a 16. That's a 1 versus like a junior high team.
That's a one
Like,
versus a Division
yeah,
three
right.
team.
I literally give Pepper 0% chance unless she has the Captain America suit. Or not the Captain America suit, the Iron Man suit,
Yeah.
which I guess maybe that's what they're considering here because I don't understand why else you throw her into bracket. I didn't really think of that.
But even still,
I'm still
even
probably taking
still,
Cap. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, we
No.
saw in Civil War Cap
I mean,
pretty
I mean
much
it
had
was.
an
I mean, it was
Iron
two
Man
on one
there.
though, so
Yeah,
a
it
little
was.
unfair.
But
Ant-Man versus Bucky Barnes. This one's a little tougher.
this one is tougher.
I I I lean toward Ant-Man here.
I
Um,
I also lean towards Ant-Man just
yeah,
because he can get so huge, and
yeah,
I don't think Bucky
yeah.
can
He can
handle
become
that.
Giant Man, and also him as Ant-Man would also is also pretty powerful. And yeah, Bucky's a super soldier, but I mean, I just think Ant-Man is pretty dang strong when it comes down to
Yeah.
it. So okay, we're in agreement there. Ant-Man advances there. Vision and Shuri again. Love Shuri. Also, let's say this: this is not Black Panther Shuri because Black Panther is actually also on this list,
Right.
and
Right.
so we're gonna assume that this is just Shuri from like Infinity War and first Black Panther, and then the Black Panther we're gonna take as being T'Challa in this case,
Hmm.
just because they have them differentiated. So, yeah, I mean, this is a no brainer, right? This is absolutely Vision.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Hulk versus the Wasp. This is like
It
low
would be a
key,
lot closer than what people think.
yeah, low key, like just the different dynamics of how the Wasp could use her abilities. Um, I still think I got to take the Hulk.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's super interesting. Yeah, I mean, I just can't imagine a Hulk losing in this situation. I really can't.
I
Um,
the only way is if it's like maybe Smart Hulk takes an L in this one, but I think regular Hulk. I think if that's who we're going with regular Hulk
yeah,
in this, right?
yeah. We're just assuming this is Rage Hulk. Like this is Incredible Hulk or Avengers Hulk or Ultron Hulk or
Yeah,
Ragnarok
or
Hulk.
yeah, Ragnarok Hulk.
Honestly,
Yeah, because that dude he punched Surtur right in the face, and Surtur's massive, and
right,
Surtur took a tumble there.
right.
Yeah, I still take Hulk in that
Okay,
in this
we're in
one.
agreement there. So far so good. All right, let's go to second round on this. Captain America versus Ant Man. I feel like we have to take Ant-Man, right? Because we took Bucky, or we
Yeah,
took Ant-Man over Bucky, and Captain America is also a super soldier. I love Cap. He's one of my favorite superheroes, but like by our
I
logic, we can't take
yeah we
Cap
can't
over
go.
Ant-Man, can we?
I mean, I agree with you. I think we have to take Ant-Man per the logic we've used, and I just think per the MCU, but I could see an argument for Cap for sure,
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, yeah, Cap is
Because
just
his
different.
whole character arc is like he's coming down from he's pretty much the underdog in about every situation, but we know he's gonna
Yeah, and he's
pull
so
out the dub.
intelligent. He's such an intelligent fighter and so strategic, and so it man, it
I
is
don't know.
tough, but
The more we're talking about it,
it is tough, but I just don't. I don't know. Yeah, again, it comes down to like the giant man stuff. Like one on one. I just don't know how Cap wins. Truly, I'm going with
yeah,
Ant Man. That
it's
Ant Man's my vote.
yeah,
And if you could change my
Ant-Man's gonna be
mind,
my
you could
vote.
change my mind.
Per our logic, what we've been going with, I think we have to go Ant-Man.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
I could see the argument for Captain America. So people who are listening, uh,
Yeah, right.
that's a tough
Right.
one.
Like if you think Cap, I'm not going to say you're wrong. Vision versus Hulk. This one's tough.
This one is tough because MCU Hulk is kind of a wuss in
I
comparison to the comics Hulk.
Gosh, dude, like Vision is such a beast, but so is Hulk.
Yeah, and
Like old Hulk again. Like
yeah,
clarification, we're talking Avengers Hulk, Incredible Hulk, Ultron Hulk. Like that Hulk is different.
right in the
He's a
beginning
beast.
as Infinity War Hulk, like the first few minutes before, you know.
Well, that Hulk got beat by Thanos.
I know, but like he's still the only one that like when fighting Thanos, like
Yeah,
besides Wanda, went
man.
toe to toe and like made Thanos like kind of panic for a second.
I'm trying to think through Vision's Like just his history in the MCU. I'm trying to like relive Age of Ultron in my mind. I feel like
Yeah.
Vision is just so.
If this were What If Vision, I'm picking Vision to go
Oh yeah,
the
yeah, oh
whole
yeah.
way, even though
Infinity Gauntlet
it's
Vision.
yeah, even though it's technically Ultron, like that's Vision's body.
Part of me
But
wants like part of me wants to say Hulk here, but
I'm saying Hulk.
you're
I
saying
think
Hulk.
Hulk because just because I the fighting prowess that we get from Vision in the MCU
I just wonder,
is
like, will Vision be like Vision's ability to use like the Mind Stone and like just the power that comes from that, and like his ability to like use lasers and whatever. Like, is that really going to be a problem for the Hulk, or is that just not going to phase him at all? Like, I don't know. Also, Vision can phase through things. Remember
right.
that. So, like,
Yeah.
how does that? But like Hulk is so strong. Is Hulk just going to like literally break Vision if he gets a hold of him? Like if it ends up becoming hand to hand combat, is Vision just toast at that point?
I think so.
I feel
That
like I
is
say Hulk. I feel like, gosh, dude, this is like, yeah, this is. I feel like I say
tough.
Hulk. I'm with
I
you.
agree.
I'm with you.
Hulk.
I'm submitting it. Here's okay. I feel like we know the answer to this. Ant-Man versus Hulk. We already said Hulk over the Wasp. We can't say Hulk again. Same logic. We can't say Hulk over Ant-Man over
Yeah.
Hulk, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a little bit easier one because
It
like
is easier.
eh, even Giant Man versus like Surtur, like Hulk really he
Oh,
really did a number against Surtur and
I
Fenrir.
yeah, I think
So,
that Ant-Man becoming Giant Man would actually be his worst shot at beating the Hulk. I think Ant-Man would
oh
have
yeah,
to stay small if him and the Hulk were to fight. I think if he becomes big, the Hulk is just going to literally twirl him around and throw him.
yep.
Yeah. So
So
okay. So the
Hulk,
Hulk is winning the science bracket then.
he's
All
going
right.
to the final four.
Okay, he's going to the final four, baby. So let's move on. Uh, this is the I actually forget the way that this is. Magic bracket.
Magic,
Which again, I don't necessarily agree with all these classifications.
right?
I think some of these are like Nebula is cosmic, so is like Thor.
So is Drax.
Although Thor, yeah. So whatever, it is what it is. But this is the bracket. So Thor versus Drax. We know where this is going, right? Like
It has
it's
to be
Thor.
Thor.
Yeah. That's easy.
I feel like comics you can make an argument for Drax.
Yeah,
but
people don't realize the kind of a problem that Drax is in the comics, but yeah, he's not that same problem in the MCU.
yeah, for those of you who don't know in the comics, Drax literally punched Thanos in the chest and pulled out his heart.
Hey, bro, Drax is
So
different in the comics, dude.
Drax is different.
Like, yeah, y'all don't know, but yeah,
Yeah.
in the MCU, it's Thor.
Yeah. The next one's kind of tough.
Loki versus dude, yeah. So Loki versus Nebula. Loki is not. He's not a hand to hand combat fighter, but he definitely is magic because he has so many illusions and things like that that he can use at his disposal. At the end of the day, like I lean Loki here, and I think it would be a
Oh,
really good
really?
fight. I do. I think it would be a really good fight. I just feel like his ability to use illusions. I don't know. Maybe at the end of the day, he still has to. He would still have to fight Nebula in some way and kill
Some
her.
hand to hand. Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe that's where the rubber meets the road because he could do all the tricks and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like his ability to use magic and Nebula's inability to use magic is where I think he maybe gets a slight edge for me because he could use different illusions to trick her and maybe get close, like sneak up on her. And he also is a magic wielder in a sense that, yeah, if he, I don't know. I'm talking myself in circles here. Give me your
I
argument
agree.
for Nebula, or are you saying Loki too?
No, I lean on more the Nebula side. It's like a 49-51% sort of thing. Um, I lean more on the Nebula side only because man, her fights in the MCU are like,
She's a
bro,
beast.
she's tough. She's
She's a
tough.
beast.
And Loki's fights, like, I think back to just Avengers. He was a beast in that.
Yeah.
I'll give him that.
He was a
And
problem in Avengers.
which is now kind of making me lean more Loki.
That's what I'm saying. And again, he
I
all
don't know.
like he had help in Avengers, but he's still powerful.
Yeah, I mean
Um,
he did he fought Nick Fury, Clint, and a bunch of Shield agents right at the beginning there,
yeah,
who and they're not like, you know, not weak by any means, you
no,
know. So and
and that was before he
he
had the
handled it well.
Tesseract.
Yeah,
He did have the scepter, but I mean it's his scepter. Like that's like we're assuming he has the scepter because he
right.
most of the time does.
Yeah, maybe I'm gonna change my mind. I think I'm gonna lean Loki on this one.
Okay, I'm good
Yeah,
with that. I'm good with Loki there. Scarlet Witch and Wanda, right?
yeah.
I love Wong.
That's
Wong's a beast, and Wong would beat a lot of other people on this list, but he's just got the wrong first round matchup. Whoever created this bracket did Wong dirty by putting him in round one versus Scarlet
yeah.
Witch. Same thing for this next one, bro. Like this is the
Yeah.
Pepper Potts thing, Captain America thing all over again. Like Doctor Strange or Valkyrie. First of all, Valkyrie definitely not a magic user. At least I don't believe she is.
Mhm.
She's definitely just more cosmic. But yeah, Valkyrie stands absolutely like 0% chance. There is no chance she beats Doctor Strange.
Nope, not a shot. Not a shot.
Bro, but look at the matchup in round two here: Thor versus Loki. Uh, I
Like
mean,
it. I like it.
I
But
like it, but also I think that the Loki versus Nebula matchup would have been a much greater fight to watch than Thor versus Loki because I think Thor bodies Loki.
yeah, I don't know, absolutely. It doesn't even matter what illusions he's got up. Thor's just
No,
gonna toss Mjolnir out there
yeah,
or even Stormbreaker and just be like, "Where are you at? Where's the real one?"
right. Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange. I mean, I think it's Scarlet Witch. I
Yeah, I think it's Scarlet Witch too. Just because I think Doctor Strange, the only reason why in Into the Multiverse or Multiverse of Madness that he pulled that dub out was because he had help from
yeah,
some weird demon things.
yeah. From like from the souls of the damned or whatever.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
one on one though. I
I think
mean,
it would
I
be a good
think it'd be
fight.
like yeah, it'd be close, but I think Wanda takes the cake on that one.
I think she does too. So that brings maybe this may be the toughest matchup to decide in the entire bracket. To be honest, Thor
Yeah,
versus Scarlet Witch. I don't know, dude.
I
I
lean
really don't know.
Thor on this one. It's tough. I
It
mean,
is
I can
tough because
100% see both sides of this.
Wanda's almost that character where it's like, is she too powerful? Like because she was able to just like pick Thanos up and almost just crushed him
Yeah,
in Endgame, and but yeah, I don't know
in
because
Infinity War, like
because you
Thor
got like
tosses.
Hela
Yeah,
right and Ragnarok had Thor basically dead to rights, and Thor was able to summon lightning and just strike her down pretty much. Like
yeah.
would the same thing happen with him and Wanda? Like Wanda's gonna try to kill him, and Thor is just gonna summon lightning and like strike her. Um,
Yeah.
Mjolnir,
Does Thor have Stormbreaker or Mjolnir?
either one, whichever one you want him to
Either
have. I
one.
feel like
I I I think I'd lean more towards Wanda if he's got Mjolnir. I'd lean more towards Thor if he's got Stormbreaker,
yeah,
just because even in like I'm thinking Infinity War,
bro. Like Infinity
Wanda
War Thor is
holds
different.
yeah, Wanda holds Thanos off while she's breaking Vision Stone for I mean like and he's struggling. He after the scene he's like panting, so like he had to put up an effort. But Thor also chucks Stormbreaker against 5 Infinity Stones
Right.
and hits him right in the chest, you know. So
Yeah.
it's like what do we do? I think Thor
It's
mostly
so
because I
tough
want
because then
the second
like
matchup.
Wanda literally took the Illuminati and just like destroyed. I mean, granted, nobody in the Illuminati was as tough as Thor. So that's definitely a caveat. Like the Illuminati had no one built like Thor. Oh, dude. Like I feel like most of the time when I talk with people, I say the Scarlet Witch is the strongest person in the MCU.
I
But
I'm leaning Thor on this one.
Thor is different. Oh man, dude, this is so tough. Uh
I also think about the next matchup though. It'd be Wanda versus the Hulk or Thor versus the
Here's
Hulk.
the thing though, I can't think about the next matchup. I gotta think about this matchup and who it
I
is.
know, but I'm even thinking I'm like Wanda versus the Hulk. I think Hulk absolutely tears her up. But I think Thor versus the Hulk, I think Thor takes the cake on that one. But it's hard.
You know what? I'm
between
taking
and
Thor, bro.
Wanda.
Yeah, listen, I'm going Thor. My gut says Thor. I think my head probably says Wanda more, but my gut has said Thor the entire time, and that's where you've been. So I'm just gonna go with it. And listen, if y'all disagree, that's totally fine. I
If
get
we
it.
see it,
Yeah, we see it. I get it, and y'all can write in and tell us if you disagree, and if we're idiots, I'm fine with that. Like, we'll take it. We could take it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was ready to flip a coin, dude. I pulled out a quarter. I was ready to flip it because I thought it was going to come down to that. Next part of the bracket. I think this one's like technically the cosmic bracket, but again, it's not. Yeah, dude.
It's
Just forget the classifications. They're
class.
whatever. Captain Marvel vs. Korg. Yeah, we know where this is going. Captain
Korg,
Marvel
all the way. No, Captain Marvel.
Rock beats whatever Captain Marvel is.
Yep.
Gamora versus Star-Lord.
I picked Gamora on this one.
Like, dude.
And I personally, I think if you think a little too hard about this one, I don't think it's that close. I think
really,
like on the surface, I feel like it's like, oh, that'd be a close fight. Like, I think Gamora absolutely waxes the floor.
Okay, like, oh man. So is this? Are we going with? Well, okay. Are we going with pre-Celestial Star-Lord or post-Celestial Star? Like, are we going with him like as a like god before he destroys Ego?
Well, before he destroyed Ego, he didn't know that, and he never knew those.
He didn't know that, but he was. So so the Power Stone couldn't kill him because or it didn't kill him because he's technically a god, and he just didn't know.
Demigod action. I mean, I think we have to take the most.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? I'm gonna go with Gamora with you just because, like, I know I'm a hypocrite here because I know I said we can't look in the next matchup, but Gamora's getting waxed in matchup number 2. So
it doesn't matter who's.
Spider-Man versus Rocket is
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Yeah, it's not even.
I feel
not
bad
even
for
close.
Rocket.
Sorry, Rocket. Yeah, dude, he's gonna die in Guardians 3, and he's dying in our bracket.
Yikes!
Black Panther versus Groot. Honestly, I think it'd be a better fight than people think, but Black Panther at the end of the day is going to take it, I believe.
Yeah, I think Black Panther will take that one as well.
But I do think that would actually be a fun matchup to watch. I think Groot would put up more of a fight than people think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Captain Marvel, Gamora. Sorry, Gamora, like you're...
Captain Marvel.
You died. Yeah. You died for the Soul Stone, and you're going to die at the hands of Captain Marvel, too. Spider-Man, Black Panther, bro.
This one's tough.
I think if it is a full-on to the death fight, it's Spider-Man.
Yep, I think so too.
Yeah,
but
which I mean, in the MCU it tracks too because we know like the MCU has confirmed what is true in the comics is that Spider-Man holds back. If he doesn't hold back, it's a problem. We saw him. We saw Tom Holland's Spider-Man wax the Green Goblin in like 30 seconds because he didn't hold back and he was trying to kill him. And I think it would be a great fight because Black Panther has the heart-shaped herb and a vibranium suit. Like, it would be an insane fight. But
yeah, and I just think I think that one would come down to like to Spider-Man deciding like I can't hold back punches right now.
Yeah, right. That's the thing. Like it's assumed that this is a fight to the death. Eventually, Spider-Man would not hold back if he would ever hold back at any point. Maybe he would just go all out. But yeah, I think this would be one of the better fights in the whole bracket. I think this is right up there with the Thor Wanda fight.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I agree. Spider-Man he's a beast. But that being said, I think his reign comes to an end against Captain Marvel.
Oh yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, and sadly, that's not even close. Really.
Yeah.
She destroyed Thanos' entire ship.
Yeah, like literally Thanos' guns were pointed at everyone on the field, and then as soon as she came into orbit, they were pointed at her.
Bro,
like they stopped fighting the people on the ground. They pointed at her.
Yeah.
So
sorry.
Sorry, Peter.
All right, Iron Man, Peggy Carter. Again, like, dude, what the heck,
Not
man?
even.
Like, why is Peggy even
She
in
didn't
this,
have a
bro? Who,
chance.
yo,
She
who,
didn't have a fighting
who
chance.
has a personal vendetta against Peggy Carter? They threw her in here. Like, this isn't even like the Pepper Potts thing where we're like, oh, does she have a suit? No, it's Peggy, bro. She's done in maybe 10 seconds,
Yep.
if she's lucky. Hawkeye and Falcon, dude,
Is this Captain America Falcon or is this Falcon Falcon?
Falcon.
Falcon. I low key would pick Hawkeye in this
I,
fight, just
yeah, dude,
barely.
yeah. We could say Hawkeye because in the next round, I could go back and forth. I know time wise we're running a little short, so I want to make sure we're honoring that. But yeah, I kind of feel like Falcon could do it too. But I could also see like
Yeah.
if Hawkeye gets off a good shot early, it's done.
Yeah.
Like match is just over, just like that. But at the same time, Falcon also has guns and missiles, which Hawkeye, like, what's he going to do against those? At the what's he going to do against a gun? What's he going to do against missiles? He's toast.
Yeah,
Like he has to have that
tough
first shot. And Falcon can fly. I don't know. Now I think it's Falcon.
I think if Falcon flies like right off the bat, I think it's over.
I mean, he's going to. Like he for
doesn't
sure is
miss.
going to. No, he does. No, he doesn't. That's the thing. It's like, yo, if he flies up, or Hawkeye kind of anticipates and leads his shot, he could down him right away. We'll go Hawkeye. I'm not mad about that. War Machine and Okoye. I mean, Okoye is a beast of a fighter. We saw her take on the super soldier in Atuma and go toe to toe with him the entire way, and even beat him at the end of the fight in the movie. But it's War Machine in a freaking Again, he's got guns. If it's to the death, War Machine's gonna wax her in a couple seconds just because she's not a super soldier.
Right.
Yeah. Black Widow and Nick Fury. Why is Nick again? Who's got a vendetta against Nick Fury, bro? I know he's I know he's about that life, but Black Widow's a master assassin.
Yeah. In the comics, would be a way better fight, but MCU.
Yeah. In the MCU, Nick Fury, at least, like, we don't see his backstory enough to know that he's built any differently than what we know. Iron Man and Hawkeye, easy again. Like
Iron Man.
Hawkeye's little arrows ain't doing nothing against Iron Man. And then War Machine, Black Widow again. Black Widow, she's a beast. What are you gonna do against guns? Like,
right.
what are you doing against a suit of armor? Absolutely nothing. And then I feel like this is the easiest bracket out of all of them because again, War Machine and Iron Man. Iron Man's a superior. It's like Kobe versus Michael Jordan. Yeah, Kobe's great, but Mike is who Kobe emulated. Like there's a reason Mike is better. And I love Kobe, but you got to go with the OG, right?
Got to go with the OG.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even
he knows the suit better. Yeah, he knows the suit better. It's just okay.
Got higher tech weapons and everything. So
Final Four, baby. The Final Four is here.
Let's get Captain Marvel and Iron Man out the way.
You want to get that one out the way? Yeah. Let's just sorry, Iron Man, we love you, but
I feel like it might be a good fight.
I think it could be a better fight because again, he went toe to toe with Thanos and Infinity Stones, so like can't sleep on Tony. He's gonna make
He's gonna put up fight.
He's gonna make it difficult, but at the end of the day, he's just not gonna be enough. Thor versus the Hulk. Okay. I mean,
this is MCU.
It's Thor. We already had this fight.
Yeah, we had this fight.
And the only reason Hulk won is because Thor got distracted and he didn't even have Stormbreaker. He almost beat the Hulk and he didn't even have Stormbreaker.
Yeah.
Or Mjolnir.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's Thor. I love Hulk, but I think that if Thor has Stormbreaker, I honestly don't know that it's that close of a fight. Because I just don't think that Hulk is going to manage to really get close to him. Thor can fly. Thor has the power of lightning. Thor is obviously as
strong.
He's a god. And and so that makes our final Thor versus Captain Marvel. And man, dude,
I think this is really tough.
I know where my gut leans, and I don't know if I'm correct in this. This might be
My
like when
gut,
we did Thor versus Scarlet Witch, but I know where my gut leans on this.
my gut leans Thor. My head
So
says Captain Marvel.
my gut leans Thor too. Um, gosh, yeah,
I don't think we've seen enough Captain Marvel
that's the thing. Like we've seen one
either.
movie of her where she wasn't even the strongest, or like we didn't even see her full strength till the very end, and then we saw her
Right.
in Endgame for like 10 minutes, and that's it.
hmm
Yeah,
And Thor was doing
but
just as much
bro, we've
damage as
seen
the fat
Thor
Thor.
mess some stuff up,
Yeah. I mean, even Fat Thor in that movie, he did.
bro.
He went toe to toe with Thanos for quite a grip,
Yeah.
and
But
wasn't
yeah,
phased by
like
it.
if we're like, I just keep thinking of Infinity War Thor and like Ragnarok Thor after
Yeah.
he like gets the power, like summons the power of lightning.
Definitely not Thor: Love and Thunder Thor. That's
No, no,
we're not talking about that Thor.
yeah, we just don't even act like he exists. Yeah,
I
I say
I
Thor.
s- I say Thor
Yeah.
too. I know there's gonna be people out there who are like, you guys are stupid. This is Captain Marvel easy.
And
Like
it could be.
it, we don't know in the MCU quite yet.
Yeah, that's the thing. You make
I
a
wanna
great
see-
point that we have not
yeah.
seen enough of Captain Marvel, and I feel more comfortable saying Thor based on what we know. You could make the argument the other way too. People could say, "Oh, well, the little bit we've seen of her in Max Power, she's a beast." You're also not wrong, and again, that's why
Right.
this could go either way.
And then you want to break it down even further, like we'll just take Endgame for example. Thor went 1-on-1 with Thanos in that movie.
Although to be
Where
fair, Thor didn't have the Infinity Stones. The better comparison is that Thor went 1-on-1 with Thanos in Infinity War
yeah.
and should have killed him.
Yep.
Should have
If-
gone
if-
for the head. Which
if he would have gone for the head, it would have been over.
Which in
and
this
we
fight,
wouldn't have had an Endgame.
yep. In this fight, he'd go for the head.
Yep.
I hope. Yeah. So there it is. Thor is the strongest Avenger, which, again, we act like Thor Love and Thunder doesn't exist, but he does wear a strongest Avenger hat in Thor Love and Thunder, and it appears that hat is accurate. So, hey, that was fun. There you guys have it. Out of all of the Avengers, actually, it's not all the Avengers, but pretty much all the Avengers prior to Phase 4 is what this list looks like it was probably made off of. So it'd be interesting because we didn't have like Shang-Chi or anybody. So it'd be interesting for us to redo this list at some point and include like Shang-Chi, include Moon Knight, include Daredevil, include, just all these other characters. I'd be really curious. Some of the Eternals.
Oh yeah, like Icarus.
Yeah,
man,
dude.
I feel like he would.
It'd be.
I feel like he'd go through some people.
He'd go for. I almost don't know if you can include him because again, well, I guess maybe you could. We did see a lot of his power in that film. Yeah, that'd be fun. We need to do that. We need to create our own bracket and take freaking Pepper Potts and Peggy Carter and Nick Fury. Like get Cord, get them out of here, bro. Rocket, sorry man. Like there's no place for you here. Throw some of these other people in. All right,
or make it bigger.
Yeah, we'll do a true 64. This is only at 32. We got room for 32 other Avengers. We'll throw villains in there, bro. Really make it interesting. Get Thanos, dude. Oh my gosh, bro. We could make this
give
wild.
Ultron a shot.
Make this wild. Hey, if we don't have anything to talk about next week, maybe we'll do this again and we'll run it back. We'll revamp it because next week we're gonna have the Final Four going on. So,
yep.
Oh, that was fun. All right. That's the podcast episode, y'all. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you all for tuning in. We're sorry we had a hiatus of about a month or so, but we're back at it. We hope to continually go every week here on out. So continue to send us emails, continue to support us, and we hope you guys have a fantastic week. We will see y'all next time. Peace out, nerds.